Today is 19 January, 4:16 p.m. About 45 minutes before the market closes. Market currently actually trade a bottoming tail, up 14 point at 3154. Now this happened after yesterday's test of support at 3140, and this is a bounce from that support. The resistance actually over here, immediate resistance, is at 3160, which was broken 3 days ago. So this offer an immediate resistance. The most significant resistance is actually at 3200 and tested on several occasions. Now this move itself is too fast, too soon, and it's not sustaining, and we see a very sharp retracement here, followed by a weak bounce before you actually move down further. This support has been tested on many occasions, so it's important that this thing hold. However, this persistent resistance up here is likely to contain any upward move. So market actually may start in a trending range. From the 30-26, there is no trend characteristics, so likely to be actually choppy. Now let's take a look at the US market. This is S&P 500. Mentioned previously that many of the indices are actually at the respective resistance level and you're experiencing a pullback. And so far the pullback itself generally is considered healthy. It is just hovering below the resistance level. So it may continue for some time, and thereafter we'd like to see a break on the upside. If you take a look at Nasdaq, we have similar patterns. So the retracement is actually the pullback is actually quite healthy. We don't have very deep retracement, and they managed to hold above this support level. So eventually like to see take out this high here, which is 15150. So by and large, it's actually quite strong. It's just that market never goes in a straight line, so we do expect it to take a breather every now and then. Now the actual catalyst came from treasury yield, and of course the inflation data and some of the others related data doesn't seem positive in that sense. And there is this fear that inflations may actually moved up. So this is something which I think the Federal Reserves are watching very closely. And because of this recent data that is released, we do see a strong upward move in the 10-year Treasury yield. So if you notice before that, we have a very directional downward move and managed to actually stage a reversal. But this reversal is likely to be short-lived. If you take a look at the multiple moving averages, it's actually testing the 50-day moving average. So this is really a counter trend move. So eventually we'd like to actually see continue to actually move downwards after this counter trend move. But of course during these periods there could be some jittery in the market. Some of the weak stocks are actually experiencing corrections, deep corrections, where the strong stocks are now pulling back or consolidating, and that somewhat has dampened the sentiment. Let's turn our attention back to the local markets. By far in recent days, the strongest stocks is actually Yangzijiang. Now we have a breakout earlier, or rather yesterday it actually broke out from this contraction setup, but it didn't close that well. Today we have a nice follow through, but the volume is not very high. And obviously if you have these positions earlier through this breakout, this contraction breakout and the small deeper breakout, it's important to actually watch very carefully, because this is a very obvious resistance, and it's important to actually lock in some profit. With weak market sentiment, sometimes it's very difficult to hang on for bigger profit. Samudara, now shipping appeared to be actually resilient. So this is what we have after a nice break above this resistance level, followed by a pullback here. Notice the volume actually dropped during pullback, and here we have a small deeper breakout. And at this point in time, notice the pullback by itself are actually accompanied with low volume. This is healthy. This is a contraction setup. High is 785. We just have to be mindful, even though 1326 are well placed and it's considered strong because it's diverging, but it's approaching very obvious resistance. Okay, this is the 200 days. So if we can bash through that, it's actually generally positive, but we will need a catalyst. And the catalyst may well be as a result of Middle East tension. Let's just take a look at Costco. This stock has kind of weakened after the run-up. So over here we have very nice pullback. Notice the pullback, very low volume and break on increased volume. This is generally nice. But over here we do see quite deep retracement. So it may well actually trade sideways, consolidate. You notice in the process right now, the data has actually closed up. So if we consolidate, we can look for a break on the upside subsequently. We'll be discussing Semcott and Capricorns, and these are by far apart from Yang Zijiang's the stronger blue chips. At this point in time here, the data has been closed. This is a small dipper setup. Bar high is at 555. Now Capricorn have a deeper retracement, so it's more likely to actually consolidate from here on. If you notice, after the run-ups, it actually retraced and it's actually trading below 1326 SMA. So we'd like to see what happens, but by and large, if you notice, the major moving averages are rising, so we like to trade in the directions of the major moving averages. So it's more likely a consolidation pattern may form. We just have to actually observe carefully and not to preempt. Genting. Again, he has weakened quite somewhat. If you notice, it's trading below the 1326 SMA. And if you notice, actually, there's this closing up of the moving averages indicate losing momentum. So we prefer if the stock can continue to trade sideways and eventually look for a break on the upside. Now we can actually ignore this long tail. Usually volume is quite low. This appeared to be very significant. This is slightly above $1, 101. And we'd like to see take out 102 as well. So because of the weak market sentiments, we see some of these stocks actually now consolidating. SIA, not strong though. If you notice, actually it's always accompanied with deep retracements, and the 1326 SMAs are not diverging. So the better bets are those stocks that I mentioned earlier. But anyway, I'll prefer if the stock actually can trade sideways and we look for a break from a base. So this is what happened. This was the previous area where it kind of hot before you actually power up. So it tend to repeat on the right side of the charts. So I'll prefer if the stock can continue to trade sideways and eventually form a base. I would like to see it take out this high here, this resistance of 660. And perhaps a new trend may commence from there.